Hey yo! Welcome to MegoxCast. I am your host, John, joined by
Yeah, hello, it's Nathan.
oh yeah, for this episode. Today we will talk about E.M.T. Now, Nathan, talk a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 20 years old. I did my E.M.T class from it was the beginning of April all the way to about the second week of June. Did my ride-alongs and passed the class. I just need to get my E.M.T license, take the test, and then after that, I'm gonna be moving to Denver, Colorado for school.
Dang, that sounds pretty interesting. And that's probably a little confusing to some people. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe people are very smart. I know I have a very smart audience, but we should ask, what is EMT? Do you want to tell them what it stands for, what it is, my boy Nathan?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
but
All right.
EMT, the emergency medical technician, those are basically the people when you call 911 and they're the basics in quotation mark who kind of show up. They can do basic health maneuvers, techniques like CPR, give you oxygen, give you glucose, administer an EpiPen, etc. Although the scale vary between states and county. And then there are different types of them. We got one that are just basics, or there's some that are paired up with paramedics. But their main goal is to keep you alive as best they can.
I mean, I would love to be kept alive.
Mhm. You'll be surprised of how many people don't.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Yeah.
Hey, yo,
One of my
pause.
friend, one of
Dude,
my friends, one of my friends had to go on a ride along. A ride along is basically when you go into an ambulance crew, which can go from like a 911 crew to just a BLS, basic life. It's kind of like a basic life, non-emergency crew. And he had to respond to this one old lady who was like 80, 90, and he's checking her vitals. And he goes, and she called him like, "Mijo, come over here." Yes, ma'am. "Mijo, I want to die, mijo. Uh, I'm just gonna check your vitals, man." So yeah, you got
oh
people
my.
like that.
Oh, dude.
Mhm. Part of the
That's,
industry. Part of the industry. You
no,
gotta have a tough mind, tough skin, messed up humor. You gotta have it all.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good that you're doing this, Nathan. You're saving people's lives, and
Yeah,
everything.
more or less, more or less.
And you probably love doing it, so that's good. I mean,
Mhm,
you're not really doing too much right now, but you will
mhm.
be. And
Focusing on getting my license for that.
oh yeah, it's yeah. I was gonna say, is there anything else you'd like to say about like just the basic description, or do you want to maybe contrast it with some other things?
Being an EMT, it's kind of like describe it. It's very not too hard, but it's a lot to deal with mentally and physically at times. So it's one of those jobs that you kind of have to develop a tough skin and a tough mind because you're going to be doing a lot of interesting stuff that you may or may not like. Like I had to, like last week, I had to go literally clean up piss on the back of the rig. So he
Why did
basically
you
got,
piss in the back of the rig?
no, the patient, she was, who was it? Her kidneys weren't working. So they had one of the, I forgot what it's called, where they pump your stomach and then one of the tubes next to your fecal matter, your pee and piss. And then
Oh
if
my.
one of the back opened and just over the leg and like, oh, God damn it.
Well, at least you cleaned it up.
Yeah, they're
Um,
very tough on cleaning procedures, but yeah, EMT is just basically keeping you alive, but that definitely varies between a kinda just a transport ambulance and a 911 ambulance. In the end, your goal is to keep the patient alive, protect yourself and protect your partner, and yeah.
no, I mean that's good.
Mhm,
I was gonna, yeah. I mean, I work in a movie theater. Obviously, I don't want to, change the topic too much. I'm just saying, this is what I do currently because,
Mhm.
I'm not really doing any like career stuff right now. And
And you
I'd
get paid
say,
more than me. Look, and I think you get paid more than me. How much do
oh
you get
no,
paid?
1575.
Let me do the math real quick.
Hey, yo, pause. Am I
Uh,
getting paid more than a EMT? That doesn't sound right.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me just look it up on Indeed or whoever, or whatever the internet tells me if it loads. And let's see what the pay is. What do you think the pay is, John?
I would assume it's more than 20 an hour, but now you're
Good joke. Good joke.
how much?
Taylor Manics would be happy if they got paid that much.
Oh no.
Let's see. Good one. EMT basic. As low as about $18. Yeah, $18 starting amount. Then again,
Well,
that's because
that's
that's because we live in California. So the high cost of living, but that's just $18, 18, 19. The-
so no, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good though.
Mhm.
But I mean,
But you pay
at
two
the same
thousand dollars.
time,
You pay $2,000 to get your skills and take the class.
yeah, so there's a lot of yeah, a lot of you know, a lot of investment for that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's more of a job you do because you like doing it, and how something is different every single day. It's there's
yeah.
certainly no two patients that are similar.
Yeah, so well, I mean, we salute you for that, for doing it for less than $20 an hour and,
Hmm.
having,
I get
the
a Chick-fil-A worker gets paid more than me. Will get paid more than me. That's just,
well, at least you get paid more than me, so it's all good.
yeah.
You just deal with
I mean,
guests and
I know
popcorn.
you get a decent amount of discounts. Like a lot of food
Yeah.
places will give you a discount if you have the badge or in your uniform. Because it's like, oh yeah, you do something that like first responder.
Oh, you're talking about your thing. Yeah, I mean that's
Mm.
good.
Yeah, if a
Um,
movie worker got discounts for just regular day jobs, I would be so annoyed.
well, I technically get discounts at other Regals, so
Well, yeah, but that's because you work there.
yeah, yeah. So
It'll be like, hey, here's 25%, here's 50% off your pull order because you work at a movie theater. Like, wait, what?
no, I mean I don't know. We salute you. All right, you do a good job. You do good boy job. I don't want to get canceled. Okay. Let's go on to the next topic. The difference between EMT and other jobs. What would you say, Nathan, is the main difference?
Well, it's a different job every single day. You have this, a kind of a core of skills that you practice and you do every single day, which is first off, driving to the patient and doing a patient assessment, which is kind of just asking them, hey, sir, can you tell me, you kind of gather the history, what happened, the vital signs, and any other significant features or incidents that happened that would lead up to the call or what resulted from the incident, and you kind of just go around that. But there's
Mm.
also, but yeah, that's kind of what you that's kind of the bare minimum. But then every single patient will be different. Like for instance, we had this one patient who kept demanding that we grab his gray bag that had all his stuff, and we couldn't find it because it was in a nursing home and they moved things all over, and we kind of had to go. So we're like, well, we found your phone and that's it. And we dropped him off at the hospital. He like, hey, they told me they had my bag. And then my partner just said, "Get out of here, get out of here." One more of my instructors says, "Get out, get out. That's their problem now, not our problem." Yeah, but
Nah,
yeah, you got people like that. We had a racist.
a
Um,
racist. Wow.
yeah,
Towards you or
no, towards my other instructor. She was this about 18 years old, Indian woman, and
Hmm.
the patient was a hypoglycemic, or my mistake, hypoglycemic. That basically hypoglycemic means when you're low on blood sugar.
Mhm.
So, and when people get low on blood sugar, they kind of get agitated, and because and on top of that, in racist, he just yeah. And so she walks in, "Hey, sir, we're gonna be taking your vitals. I don't want you people touching me."
Oh my. Well, from what I can tell from what you said, are you saying that the main difference you'd say between EMT and other jobs is that with EMT every day is like a little different. There's not too much consistency. You kind of like work with like different patients, or is that kind of like a lot of jobs like EMT?
There you do have some consistency of what you do, but the patients vary. Like,
Okay,
for
so the patients vary. Can you give me an example of like other jobs where the patients don't vary? Because
patients don't vary, where
I
they're
know
all
you've been.
over. I guess if you work for 911 person, because then the patients are all over. Because let me before I go on that, let me go talk about the four kind of the different types of EMTs along with the different levels. The first level I'll talk
Okay.
about is emergency is it is an emergency medical responder. That's you, John. You can be an emergency medical responder by seeing someone's on the ground and calling 911, doing CPR, and just saying, "Hey," and just recognizing the incident. You are an emergency medical responder.
So
And
no credentials for that one.
yeah, you can take a class and get like a half a credit, but it's very basic. Just, like you see someone pass out on the bench, hey, and you call 911 saying, "Hey, there's a man passed out." Okay. Yeah. Or you can do CPR somebody, you could do the Heimlich maneuver. That's an emergency medical responder move. EMT is one step above where you actually have to pay to go to a class and you learn skills. I have a list of skills like here. Hold on. Skills that you will perform as an EMT will be patient assessment for medical and trauma calls, BVM ventilation. That's when you give oxygen to people with this mask that kind of forces people to take it. Oxygen administration, spinal immobilization, which that's kind of self-explanatory. You hold someone's spine, which specifically you hold the head to prevent the nerves from being damaged. Because if you damage your nerve, it can easily die.
Oh
There's also
my.
We also learn how to do bleeding control and shock management, but that's basically like if someone gets a gunshot wound in the leg, put pressure on it, except and do the appropriate maneuvers, and then mobilization on broken bones, and blood sugar testing and administering of certain medication like naloxone and EpiPen, stuff
Mm.
stuff like that. And then there's another level called ADMT, which is an advanced EMT, which you do a bit more maneuvers. I believe in the state of California, you could administer an IV as AEMT. I can't, I'm not too confident about that one. They're not too common because, quite frankly, it's not worth it being an advanced EMT. You don't really get a higher pay. Well, you might, but it's not worth the time or the class. And many people become excuse me, a paramedic, which is much more prestigious, valuable, better because they can do anything. I like to joke to say like they're a doctor on the road because they actually save your life. They actually can administer medications that will save your life. Like, instance, I can't remember the name of this medication. It was from an instructor. This was the most dangerous medication he administered when he had a patient whose heart rate was over 200. And to give you a perspective, the average human heart rate should be 60 heart, from 60 beats per minute to 100 beats per minute. And so this guy, he was going from 200 over 200. And so the medication he gave literally stopped his heart to in order for the goal of it to like beat normally. So yeah.
Gosh. Is
Mhm.
that all the ranks or different,
Yeah, that's different qualifications, but then there was, but then
wait, no,
that's
oh,
different.
wait, hold on.
Mhm.
Not qualifications, right? Are these the actual like what's
These
the
are
word
jobs.
called?
You don't
These
have,
are just the jobs, right?
Yeah, these are the job. Yeah, these are the jobs. They're
Okay.
not ranked. I say qualifications because each level has different skills. Like a
Yeah.
paramedic, they can do anything. They can deliver a baby. Well, technically, I can deliver a baby, kind of. But they can deliver a baby professionally. They can administer morphine. They can give you an IV. Uh, they can they can call in for a helicopter transport, etc. That those classes, for a paramedic, it will take about 2,000 class hours minimum, along with 2 years of like experience. You could speed it up with. I've seen some classes speed it up with a year, but that's if you're working full time, part time. So yeah, and EMTs, they typically need a couple hundred hours. I think 200 to 400, something like that. Yeah, and then like I said, yeah, I had to pay about $2,000 to take the class. That included textbooks, fees, classes, and the class itself. I'll be paid $18 an hour. Woo!
No, I mean, you're doing good work,
Mhm.
Nathan. Don't let that
Well, you don't go in
discourage
for the
you.
money.
Yeah, and then you know there are other ways to make money nowadays.
A lot.
If you
Well,
know what I'm saying.
the nice thing about the job is that you actually have a decent amount of downtime, especially if you work for just a transport company. By the way, there are kind of two types of ambulances. Uh, there's just kind of like a basic, like BLS, which is just very basic. All they focus on transporting the patient and keeping them stable, which would be like, hey, a man fell in a time at home, so we want to bring him to the hospital. Okay, we'll go pick him up in about an hour. Okay, but then there's also 911 calls, which that's what they're most famous for. They respond to car crashes, mm, more dangerous, more immediate threats to someone's life.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then in
I
those jobs, you have some downtime, which is nice. For instance, like in about a 10, 12-hour day, you for just a transport ambulance, you might have about 5 to 6 patients if you're unlucky in quotation marks.
I
But
know.
and you can wait like an hour in between before you get anybody, 2 hours. Kind of depends. It depends on what dispatch gives you. And so you have a lot of time to do your homework, watch videos, sleep. I still remember my school telling me, "Don't you dare sleep. Don't you dare go on your phone." And when I showed up there, almost everyone was on their phone, sleeping, eating,
Yeah. Well, I
etc.
mean, obviously they're gonna say that. They don't want to
Yeah,
create the bad habit, but people are gonna do it anyway. It's
yeah,
like at my job. Like they want to say, "Don't be on your phone," but I mean, like, what's happening? No one's asking
mhm,
for food, and there's no theaters to clean, and
yeah.
there's no guests coming in to get their tickets scanned. So
Also, in this
just be on
job,
your phone.
you in a truck all day or a rig all day, so people can't really
Any
see you
AC?
well. Hmm?
Any AC in the
Oh
truck?
yeah, there's AC in it.
Okay,
There's
that's good.
AC,
Well,
there's heat control, there's a bunch of stuff in it. They
that's
can
nice.
keep they can humidify the air. There's a power switch. You can charge your phone, etc., etc.
Yeah,
They're
that's
very up
nice.
to date. They're very expensive.
Yeah, that's good. Did you have anything else to say about the other like EMT positions and the differences, or do you want to go to the next topic?
Uh, there's some differences between the states and counties. For instance, an EMT in California is not certified in the state of Washington because they require different qualifications and different skills. A good example of this is in California. In California, an EMT cannot administer an IV, but in Colorado, they are allowed to administer an IV. So there's a big difference in skills, and and the way to determine where you're qualified are is that you need to take a test in every single state. So, for instance, since I'm moving to Colorado, I'm gonna take a test in California. Once I get approved for that, I'm gonna transfer my credentials over to Colorado, and then I just have to do whatever they tell me to be certified. And then, but then this also goes a step farther because in order to work as the EMT in your state, you need to be certified in your county. Uh, John, are you okay with me revealing what county we live in or nay?
Sure.
Okay, so in LA County, you know how I say I can give you like a medication?
Hmm.
It's well, that's the state scale. Like Narcan, Narcan, aspirin. In LA County, you can't really do that. You're not allowed to give aspirin, which aspirin saves lives. If your chest hurts, take an aspirin pill. But in LA County, you're not allowed to do that because, well, for whatever reason, the lawmakers say, which could be from like lawsuits or they just want the paramedics to do that. Like it varies.
Yeah, maybe they just don't want to, you know,
Deal
give
with
them a
any lawsuits.
sponsorship. Oh,
Yeah, like
yeah,
a
maybe
good,
that too.
yeah, because like Orange County, they're allowed to, EMTs are allowed to administer glucose. Glucose is basically just sugar. So, so when a diabetic patient needs something to eat, you can give like 15 milligrams of sugar. But in LA County, you're not allowed to. A paramedic can, EMT can't.
Hmm, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Anything else you'd like to say, or do you want to get to the next topic?
We can go on to the next topic.
All right. Now, you kind of went over this, but I feel like there's still more. The qualifications and requirements for this EMT. Do you think you have some more to say about that? Because you did go over it, but I don't think you went over it too much with the qualifications and
Yeah,
requirements.
the bare minimum qualifications, it kind of depends on what program you take. Some will require a driver's license, some don't. But the bare
And
minimum
I was going
is
to
that
ask you, it
mm,
does this also is this also different like within the counties and like different locations, or is
uh,
this all the same throughout the entire like United
they all
States?
each it kind of depends. Companies, the companies that hire you have different qualifications. So does the schools have different qualifications. So like some schools will require you to have a driver's license, some don't. Some want you to have a proof of insurance, some might not. It kind of varies. But generally, you just kind of need to be 18. Uh, that's kind of what I remember. 18, you need to be 18. You need to get your shots in a lot of vaccinations. For instance, the flu, COVID, hepatitis, tuberculosis, and there was a couple more ones I can't remember. You also need to go through a background check. It's very simple. You just put your social security and some information, and then someone checks. Okay, good. You're not a felon.
Hmm.
And well, even if you are a felon, you can be an EMT. You just need to wait. You just need to wait a couple years, or you need to do whatever service that was given to you. Mhm.
That makes
But yeah,
sense.
basically, really, it's just you need to be 18 to be an EMT. Then,
Okay, well that's good.
yeah, there's also other qualifications that aren't mandated legally, but kind of just more kind of off the hand would be you need to have a tough mind. When I say tough, you need to kind of I don't know how to describe it. You can't get too emotional all the time, or you can't be squeamish. Like I remember one of my lessons, we just had it was all about trauma. Trauma is basically when something hits you from the outside. It's like a gunshot, you get stabbed, you fell and you broke your leg and now the bone's sticking out. That's trauma. And so we spent a whole lesson just staring at different types of bones breaking. Yeah. My favorite one was when someone fell off the bike and so they had the fibula and tibia sticking out of their like foot and their leg. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people can't handle that. No shame. Some people might faint. You need to handle that. And if you can't, probably not a good idea to get into this career field.
Yeah. I mean, of course you want to be able to have the right mindset and be able to deal with everything, you can't be, you know, uh,
Well, if you
you
can't deal
know,
with blood, you don't really want to join a career field with blood everywhere.
exactly. Yeah.
Or if you
I don't
can't,
know.
or if you have a very bad sense of smell, oh yeah. if you have a good, if you can't deal with like like fecal matter, again, not the best career field to join.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, this is comparing apples to oranges, but sometimes some people in those bathrooms, bruh, they're insane.
mhm.
They just they
Oh
try
yeah.
to make an art piece.
Mhm.
So,
Um,
but I mean, that's a little there. That's a that's a good amount different. But
those are
I
the
don't know.
those are what you can see and smell. There's also a lot you also have to be good at. Excuse me. You also have to deal with a lot of mental trauma. Yeah,
Oh,
they're really big on mental health in the career
from the
field.
patients.
No, on yourself. The in the more recent years, they're very big on mental health because EMS workers die by suicide a lot. So do first responders in general, because you're seeing eh, humanity at its worst sometimes. And
Yeah.
so, what's a good story? One good story from my instructor when we were learning about when to report suspected abuse or child neglect. In this case, was supposedly a clear example of neglect for a child. Was when one of my instructors showed up to a call. It was just a minor car crash, but the woman wanted an ambulance. Woman, and so she shows up with her partner, and so they go, woman, okay, there's two patients. There's like a 30-year-old woman, and there's just like a young toddler. That's okay, ma'am. Do you want us to transport you? Yes, I want you to transport us. And so what she did, she handed them a child, and then said, I'll meet you at the hospital." Well, ma'am, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a better idea for you to come with your child to the hospital. No, no, I'll meet you at the hospital. I have to do some things here. Are you sure, ma'am? Are you sure, ma'am? We really want you to come. Nope. I'll meet you there. And she never showed up. Never showed up to the hospital. Left the kid
Oh
with
my.
with the with the EMTs, EMT and paramedic. Mhm. But
No.
people like that. Probably the worst call my instructor was telling us was when there was this woman who got drunk. And so she got her three kids about, for what he told us, they were about, one was about 10, the other was about 8, and the other was about 4. So she got the kid, so she forced all of her kids in a car. And so she goes speeding down a neighborhood, crashes into a light pole. She was ejected. She was fine, the drunk woman. But then her kids were not. The 10-year-oldest, his spine, the three kids were killed on impact. The 10-year-old
Oh my.
spine was, his vertebrae was sticking out. Mhm. Yeah, his vertebrae was sticking out with with his whole head kind of torn. So his spine's sticking out, his head's torn. The other kids, they were kind of just impounded by the car. And so that's one of those, it's like, okay, this is the real darks of the career field. Mhm.
You
It
did you have to see pictures or did you just hear about the like what
no,
happened?
no, he was just kinda telling us the nitty-gritty, like, "This is what you might see. So you need to get a therapist." You need it, and a good way for mental health in the industry is that, jokes. You have to have a lot, dark humor, 'cause, it's one of those very melancholy way of dealing with it, but you have to deal with it one way or the other. Go to therapy, some people joke about it, healthy ways. Mhm.
Do you prefer the latter, the dark comedy?
Yeah, you kind of just
Oh, okay.
you kind of have to d you're just one of those, you find your ways, you have your fun. You
Do you have a
what
good dark joke to tell the audience maybe
no,
to
I'm
deal
good.
with what they just heard? No?
No, I'm good. But, I personally like to do, I just kinda just you just one of those, you realize this is humanity, and you just move on. I
Yeah.
just how people are. You have to have a good mental and physical skin of just dealing with, kind of just not dealing with it, but just having to get through it. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be another good qualification. Mhm. You
Yeah,
also have
can
to
you
be
think of any other
you
oh,
have to be
mentally what?
mentally aware of the the
Mm,
dangers you could put yourself into. Like again, one story from my instructor was when a man went, they get a 911 call for a man, which whatever issue, knock on the door, bump, 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 EMS. And so this lady comes out with a machete and tried stabbing him to death. But he knew jujitsu, so he threw her to the ground.
mm. Yeah, I used to do jujitsu, so it is good self defense. It's good to be able to defend yourself. So what is that what you meant though? Like skills and how to defend yourself and how to um
It's a good skill to have,
just
just like just some basic self defense, but also kind of just you have to realize that you might be in a dangerous situation, you might die, quite honestly. So you have to be mentally prepared for that as well. Yeah.
wow.
While it's unlikely, you never know what's going on. There could be a drunk woman driving down the street and crashes into your rig at like 100 miles per hour. Things happen.
Yeah.
Mhm. So you have to be eh, mentally prepared and physically, and you also have to know when you have to leave the workplace because eventually a good amount of first responders they might get burnt out, but they just don't care. And in the end, to sum it up nicely, they kind of put themselves in danger, the patients in danger, the coworkers in danger. So you kind of have to know, like, this isn't for me anymore. And then you have to go leave and do your own thing.
Yeah, you have to be considerate of the patient even if you um plan not to be, like
Mhm. Well, you always
they
consider it to
gotta
the patient. You try to be
yeah, but
nice, even when the biggest ass they are. You still nice. Well, you still try
yeah,
to be nice to them.
yeah, what I'm saying is like if you're feeling like you can't do it anymore in that sense, like, you
Yeah.
know, be like considerate and everything. Even if you have to be considerate in the sense that you gotta leave. Yeah,
You
so
gotta know your limits.
mhm, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um anything else you'd like to say about the qualifications and requirements?
Mm, not for the qualifications part, no.
Okay, what about requirements? Or is that basically
Qualification
basically same?
requirement feel the same thing, John.
I know they are, right? Okay, I'll mess you up, Nathan. All right. Then you'll need an EMT. Okay, I mean, that's a good dark joke.
Hey, I know the place that can kill you painfully. I'm kidding.
Hey, yo, pause. Please don't. I'm kidding.
I know where
Anyway,
your arteries are located at.
oh my. Yeah, I don't want to mess with you. And guys, don't mess with him. All right. Even if you're in the ambulance, don't mess with him. Anyway, Nathan, let's go into the next topic. Duties and common tasks. So, what are the duties and common tasks? I mean, I know you went over this a little bit, but
Yeah,
I
I can
feel
go
like
more
you
in
can,
depth.
yeah, more to depth.
Well, the overall task is to keep yourself safe and keep yourself and the patient and your partner safe and keep everyone alive. So one of the first when you I'm going to go down kind of the steps they tell us to. How you respond to a scene is that you look at Penman, like for personal safety, partner safety, patient safety, and then everyone else's safety. Then you look for any environmental hazard. Is there a down power line? If so, you need to get out of there because if you're hurt or you get injured, you become part of the problem. And now, well, instead of one patient, there's now two patients. And so, if the scene's unsafe, you need to leave, even which can cause a lot of issues. But your safety comes number one. In any academy, fire academy, police academy, first responder academies in general, they will tell you your number one goal is to come home at the end of every shift. What might mean some patients might have to die because they're just in an unsafe situation, but you come first.
Wow.
So, mhm. And then the
Yeah.
next step in the pen man cycle is the number of patients and also the nature of illness. Nature of illness goes into a medical call. when they say a medical call, that means there's something wrong inside of them, like a chest pain, they're sick, something that it's hurting inside. And then there's also a mechanism injury, which that's a trauma one, which as stated before, trauma is something affect you from the outside, like a stab wound, a shot, in a car crash, etc. And then you might have to call additional resources or advanced life support. But depending where you are, resources are going to be abundant. Like in LA County, there's all if someone gets into crash, there's going to be the EMTs there, the sheriff's going to be there, fire's going to be there. You're always going to have someone, and then additional resources if needed, and number of patients. And then next up, you follow your general impressions. That's kind of what you when you walk out of the scene or you walk up to the scene and you look at the patient, like, okay, who are they and what's going on? You see, for instance, I see a 20-year-old Asian male sitting at his computer recording a podcast with no signs of pain, which I
Like, how
just
do you
described
see
John.
that?
What?
How do you see that? And also, I'm not 20 yet.
Yeah, we're just guesstimated. But if one of those is just you look at it, and you just think to yourself, okay, that's who that patient looks like. I'm going to be using you as my patient.
This is
We're going to make you a false call. Like, okay, someone called thinking you were injured, but not.
it was
But
me.
yeah. And then,
I called.
yeah, we see a about 20-year-oldish male sitting on a computer, but with no pain indicated. That's just kind of a mental note, like, of what's going on. And then the next step, you need to check their alert level, which is like AFPU, which I would first, hey, sir, can you tell me your name?
John.
Do you know where you're at?
I'm at my house.
All right. Can you tell me what's going on?
I'm recording a podcast with this very obnoxious co-host.
And can you tell me, what time it is, the day, night?
I think it's July 15th. It's day. It's like 5 in the afternoon or
Uh,
evening,
I
however
know.
you see it.
All right. So what we would call you A&O times four. Some county, like LA County, I believe, they only go up to three. They don't ask you what happened. That just varies between counties and state. But you are A&O times four. That means you have the right to refuse service because, and that's very important because if you're A&O times three, or if you're not perfect in the alert and orientedness, then we would, under the implied consent laws or doctrine, whatever it's called, we would take care of you because we would think that if you are in a normal state, you would want care. This is very good in like a with a patient who is hyper or hypoglycemic, where they don't know the name. They may know their name. Yeah, they may know their name, but they don't know what's going on. They might know what's happened. They could be hallucinating. And so because of that, they can't make a decision for themselves safely. So under the implied consent, we would take care of them.
Oh, okay.
So mhm.
Yeah. So, what are the different levels again? You said a three at one point. Is there
Th- there's
the
four.
other levels?
Those were the questions I asked you. What's your name? That's a big one.
Oh,
Where you at? Where are you at? Because, for instance, in my testing, I was given a scenario where I was hyperglycemic and I was hallucinating while I was driving on the highway, and so the EMT he showed the EMT my classmate said, "Hey, good evening, sir. How are you? I'm good. I'm doing good. The police pulled me over. Oh, really? Okay. What was going on? What's going on?" Sir? Well, I was just riding my horse. I was just riding my horse playing Little Nas on the highway,
oh my.
and which was not going on. I was driving my car on the freeway and got pulled over. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would
Um.
someone who doesn't know where they're at can't safely make a decision for themselves? Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
That's where you and then the time, date, do you know that's self-explanatory, and do you know what happened? It's kind of And on a national level, they want you to ask that, but in LA County, again, I believe they don't require this because some people you might have gone to a car crash and you blacked out for a second, but now you're perfectly fine, or you just simply
Mhm.
didn't know what happened. So yeah,
Yeah. Um, no, I mean, yeah. Did you when you were acting as a like you said, a hyperglycemic driving on the freeway?
I was riding my horse actually.
No, but I was
Yeah, I
saying,
was driving the
did
car,
you
but
do you have any like when you made all those like, I guess, like not jokes, but like, like what the person would say,
scenarios.
or do you
Yeah,
think that would actually like happen, or do you think maybe
that
you were
could.
just being more hyperbolic about the situation because you were asked to be the
Yeah, it happened.
you
Yeah,
know
yeah, it happens. Just I was just acting, just doing what is patient's not always going to cooperate with you. So you kind of, when you're in this training mode, that's in the school, you don't want to be a perfect patient because that's not real life. You want to be a bit of an ass sometimes. You
oh
want to be
yeah, no,
annoying, etc. You want to, we want to, they try to teach you how it is. But yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, then what else? And then that's only like
but
that's only the first couple steps of the process, John.
yeah, no, I
Yeah,
get it. I
general
was gonna
impressions.
say too that at my jobs, I don't know why I keep referring to back to my job. It's like literally like two different things, but I just want to add some stuff to it. But I don't know if you will get this same experience too, but a lot of people talk about how customer service and just guest service or whatever, just you're gonna get a lot of bad, like, apples, you're gonna get a lot of bad people, but you realize that generally,
I know what you're
you're
trying to
gonna
say.
get a lot of just normal people, at the same time. You're gonna get a lot of people that are just chilling, doing their thing. They're pretty
Yeah.
self-aware of how they're acting and everything. And I was just wondering, do you think you're gonna get as many bad apples as you think you're gonna get?
That I can't really give you a definitive answer. It's
Yeah, yeah, of
people
course not.
all over. Like when I
Yeah.
did my ride-alongs, I had all over. I had people who couldn't talk. I had some very nice people, some very annoying people, some very
Would you
cranky
say
people.
generally, would you say that they were more or less normal? Most of them.
Well, yeah, they were normal. Because since I was working in just a for a transport company, is that we had to transport a lot of older people, so dialysis, falls, headaches, low
Yeah.
hemoglobin, stuff
So
like
yeah,
that. So
you're gonna
older people are a bit more they can be a bit more annoyed, especially when they're on time at home because the family doesn't want to take care of them, and so people are a bit more annoyed. Mhm.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you do attract a lot more of a different crowd with yours. We attract more of a general
Yeah.
like audience. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming that when it comes down to like where you're at, because like you're not always gonna be doing that transport company thing, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes you're gonna
Oh,
do
no.
other stuff.
No,
You're gonna
I
be
I
attracting
wanna move to the 911 sector. That's where you get the phone calls of broken leg, car crashes, etcetera.
yeah. So I don't know. I guess it's always just gonna be different. You're not gonna get like the same like amount of like crazy people. You're not going to get the same amount of normal people, so it's just going to be different. It's not going to be
Yeah.
consistent like maybe at my job or anything. But sometimes I do get a lot of old people, so
Yeah.
yeah, but you said that was just the first step. What are the other steps?
That was only the general impression. And also in the general impressions, you kind of assess the breathing like, okay, are they is everything normal? Which in your case it would be. And then now you go into your God, what was it called? Your general impressions, first impressions. You go into your ABCs now. Your airway, your breathing, your circulation, and your transport decision. Well, airway, that's if you're breathing. Is your airway, your mouth open and patent? Someone
No.
might so Someone could be, so they could be, on the ground slowing up. Okay, the airway isn't open. It is working, but there's the sew up, there's vomit blocking it. So because of that, when you suction it, that's just an example. And then the next step would be breathing. That would be, how's your breathing level? Are you breathing too slow, too fast? Do you need oxygen? We also want to assess for your lung sounds because someone's lungs can indicate various types of medical issues like COPD, I can't, CHF, congestive heart failure, other medical issues that can affect the the report. And then your circulation, which that's just your pulse, your heartbeat. Is it normal? Like for instance, like in the scenario I had before, where the guy had a 200 a pulse, that's not normal. A normal pulse would be 60 to 100, so that's just what we assess. And then we also assess for skin temperature. You know how like as a kid, your mom might have went up to you and put her hand on your forehead.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what we do too.
Well, okay. Can you put your hand on my forehead, Nathan? I would love that so much.
No, this scene doesn't feel safe. This, I don't feel safe. How do you get out of here? But yeah,
No,
they
I
do that to
locked the
see.
door.
Yeah, they do that to see how if kind of if anything's abnormal. Like for instance, if you feel cool and clammy, that's a sign of shock. Yeah, we need to get you to the hospital immediately. But if you're just, normal room temperature, that's fine. If you're warm, that could be an issue, etc.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Then we decide we make our transport decision. Sometimes you just kind of you stay and play or you load and go. Stay and
Yeah.
play would be if like if it nothing's like in this case, if you're not having issues, we're gonna stay and play. We're not gonna go down to the hospital immediately because we. But like if some another good example of stay and play would be if someone broke the hand and we're like, okay, we're gonna go, we can, but we're gonna. Oh, that's not a good example. Um, I guess if someone fell and scraped their knees, we're gonna stay and play. We don't need to go to the hospital. But then a load and go would be a trauma, stabs, etc. Emergency situations. And after those ABCs, we go into the what's it called? Kind of go into questions. Sample OPQRST. Sample would be your signs and symptoms. Hey, sir, can you tell me what your what's going on? Hey, my stomach was hurting, etc. Are you allergic to anything? Do you take any medication? What's your past medical history? What's the last thing you ate? And what was leading up to this situation? And then LPQST would be onset or sudden. Was this pain sudden or gradually? Is there anything that you do to make it feel better? Does anything make it feel worse? How would you how would you describe this pain? OPQR. Does it radiate anywhere? See, I'm still new. I still have to go over it in my head. Wait, does the pain radiate anywhere? For the severity, can you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how painful it is? With 1 being not so pain, being no pain, and 10 being extremely painful. And can you tell me how long this goes? And then after that, and then you also check for your vital signs, which that's just I'm not gonna recite them. But yeah, that's kind of what you do, and then you make the appropriate um, skills, maneuvers, etc. to fit patient's need. Like someone who needs oxygen, you're going to give them oxygen. Someone slowing up, you're going to give them a sew up bag, etc.
Yeah.
etc. Mhm.
Yeah. You just give them what they need.
Yeah,
Uh,
keeps it alive.
yeah. This is a weird question, but I was gonna say if they're in a weird environment, like for an example, it's like really hot or really cold, and it's like a place where like they could probably die from something, but their body is not reacting to it in a certain way. Are you guys gonna do anything, or is it just like when their body starts reacting to it? or
Um,
reacting in a certain way, though.
we would move them to the ambulance. Like if we're in the desert and they fainted of heat stroke, we gotta move them to the ambulance that has air conditioning. Or
Yeah, I was
if
gonna
it's too
say, and
cold, you take care of the patient. You don't wait for something to happen. You try to prevent it within
okay, yeah.
reason.
So, oh, okay, yeah, within reach. So if they were in a very hot environment and you feel like you'll even faint, then you would probably take them there too, right?
Well, yeah. Well, and also just from just kind of just a normal perspective, you don't want to you don't want to work in the heat. So if the patient, you gotta look at the patient, let's get you to the back of the ambulance and we'll just continue there. That's what you'll do. Mhm.
That makes sense. Yeah, because yeah, I mean, like in that like hypothetical, my room's always warm and kind of moist. It's kind of like southern Florida,
Mhm.
so I don't know if you would want to move me to your ambulance or
I
if
mean,
you want me to just
if
stay
it's
in
an
here.
issue, then they'll move you. Or they move you
What if
to a
it's
cooler
not?
room. Like, hey, like if your room's super hot, they might just move you to the room over where it's not so hot.
Good point. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Um, uh, I I mean, all that makes sense. Any other steps for the EMT?
Now it's transport. You give like a when you get to the hospital, you kind of give a report and you get signatures, and then you report to dispatch. Hey, we're back in service, and you clean your ambulance, the rig. And yeah, that's what you do.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say about this part of the topic?
Not so much, but really just things vary. You have kind of like a steps to follow, but they can change and they just adapt to the situation.
Yeah, so you have to like kind of really understand all these like steps and like what to do, right?
Yeah, because that's kind of what keeps you alive, at least supposedly. The rules to follow.
Supposedly.
Well, like when at your work, like you have to, hey sir, you have your steps to follow of what the order of what you're supposed to say.
Yeah. No,
Again,
I get it.
that's our stuff too.
Hmm, I get you. All right, let's move to the next topic. I don't know how much we'll be able to say about this one, but why do you want to become an EMT, my guy?
People become EMTs because it's a job that's different every single day. Because again, patients aren't the same, things are different.
Do you like the variety?
Yeah, I like the variety.
Is
But
that what called you to this job, you'd feel like, or no?
I like doing it because it was yeah. I'm not going to be standing around for 8 hours a day doing nothing. I was going to be doing something. And but yeah, other people also do this to move up in their field. For instance, some people want to become nurses, so they become EMT to get patient contacts. People become firefighter, they become EMT to be a firefighter. People become an EMT to become a police officer, become a paramedic, yeah, doctors, etc. You do this. You do this. A lot of people do this job for the experience.
You're doing this job for the experience?
Yeah, more or less. I'm kind of just seeing where it takes me.
No, okay, that's good. Did you have any other like jobs in mind out of the ones you mentioned?
Maybe firefighter, maybe FEMA.
Maybe what?
FEMA. FEMA is basically that's a government position, a government group where they handle the natural disasters, big scenarios. Like when the big hurricane hit Puerto Rico, FEMA they went over there and they evacuated people. They got water there. They improved infrastructure, etc. That's what they do.
Oh, okay, yeah. With firefighter, you did say something about like how you gotta watch out for your safety before the person you're trying to save. But at the same time, fire is unpredictable.
Mhm.
So like, what do you think would be the main thing with that? Like, how would you know that it's unsafe to do it
um,
unless it's already unless
with
it's already
fire,
unsafe? I'd say.
it very depends. There's a thing called flashover. When flashover happens, you're gonna die. But you kind they generally know when the area is safe in quotation marks. Like if the structure is gonna collapse, they're not going in there. But
Yeah.
if there's a bunch of smoke, then they're gonna go in there and try to limit it. Depends on their tactics, what the fire captain says, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you feel
Mhm.
like the EMT classes it does it go over other of those positions like you're talking about, the like the firefighter and the
Mm,
femur and all that?
FEMA, FEMA,
FEMA.
FEMA.
FEMA, yeah, FEMA.
Yeah, not really. They have stories, but it's just yeah, they prepare you to be an EMT. You go there to be an EMT. You don't go there to become a firefighter. You go there to become an EMT.
Oh,
You don't work for a movie theater to prepare to work at a fast food place.
I mean, there are some things at a fast food place that are similar to a
No, yeah,
movie theater, but I will say that there are like
so is
I'd
EMT,
have to, yeah,
but they
yeah,
don't
I'd have
train
to
you to
learn
work
a
at
lot.
McDonald's at legal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to deal with the fries, like, bro, all we gotta do for fries is, like, plop them in and then they plop out, like, we're chilling, but with, like, McDonald's, you gotta, like, actually, like, fry those babies in the oil and, like I mean, we do that too, but it's like a whole, like I mean, it's basically just a machine that does it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, this might be a weird question, but do you think these EMT classes and just learning about the whole EMT way, do you think that has changed your perspective and just your outlook, and maybe even a little bit your personality and how you act with other people?
No, just I kind of been the same. Treat people with respect, be nice, don't be mean, etc.
Do you think it has making you made you tougher though these classes or anything like that? Because you were talking about how you need
Mentally,
like
because
yeah
it
oh
takes a lot of
physically
pushing when you see someone deformed on a stairway.
oh my so are you saying you just saw pictures of these stuff, or did you actually have to, be in contact with a lot of this stuff, like
Oh no, we saw
physically there?
we had pictures, we had videos, we had scenarios, just stuff to make it to prepare us.
Yeah.
Like one example, towards the end of the class, we had one of our classmates dress up as a trauma patient, and her scenario was that she fell down the stairs and fractured and was deformed all over, and so we had to respond properly, which we got like a passing like an A mark. We did great. Our other classmates not so much.
What do you think that was?
Oh, because we did everything what we're supposed to do, while the other classmates, they were too scared to react. They didn't want to react. They reacted improperly, etc.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully, they're not
it,
your EMTs.
I would hope not. I would hope not. But
I passed the class with I barely passed the class with a 70. I'm gonna be taking care of you today. Thank you so
what
much.
did you pass with?
In the 80s. Oh my, I was in the 80s.
You should retake it. Get to know I'm kidding.
Hey, John, I'll give you an example test and you can answer them.
Sure. Oh, right now or
You
in
want to
person?
or
Yeah, sure. Like just like a verbal test.
hold on.
Hey, yo,
I
you
think this
gotta
will
like
look like
look something up.
what's okay. Um, Question: do you want airway, burns, cardiac, medical, or trauma emergencies?
Can you repeat them again?
Do you want airway, cardiac emergencies, medical assessment, or trauma emergencies?
You said cardiac, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. I'm gonna share.
All right.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Oh no, no. Just tell me them. Cause unless you can't tell me them, because I don't want to have to do that while we're doing the podcast.
Okay. A cardiac arrest that happens within 2 hours within the onset of symptoms is known as
Yeah. Wait. So is this like a multiple choice, or is this like a
yeah,
free?
yeah.
Okay. So
A
can you
ca-
tell me the?
yeah. A cardiac arrest that happens within 2 hours within the onset of symptoms is known as angina pectoris, sudden death, acute myocardial infarction, or arteriosclerosis.
I don't know. C.
Sudden death.
Oh wait, no, I didn't say sudden death. I thought sudden death was B.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went all over. Yeah. Acute myocardial infarction.
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
Right. I can tell you that's probably wrong.
Dang.
Common signs of patients suffering from cardiac compromise includes crushing pain, lacrimation. This is too much. I'm just gonna stop. Yeah, you said acute myocardial infarction. Show the results. You got. You failed.
Ah, no.
It was sudden death.
Well, well, sucks for them. I'm
Fire.
sorry. That was so dumb. No, I, I would have to probably study for it.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot. There's a lot you have to study for.
yeah, so I don't really know too much about that. But do you have anything to say to people that want to become an EMT just as yourself? After you take this test, you'll basically be an EMT, right?
Yeah,
All
that's
right. So, do you have anything you'd like to say to the listeners that want to be an EMT?
have fun with it. And go in with the right mindset, really.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. All right. We can end it there. Did you want to shout anything out, Nathan? Like any social medias or any things you would like to just plug?
Not good.
No, for real?
I mean, I could plug in a random company
No, I don't know. Why would you do that though?
to mess with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right.
Go
Um,
go and subscribe to
going to subscribe to T series.
No.
No.
What? Go subscribe. How
Calm down. Anyway, yeah. Let me know how you felt about this person in the comments below. Nathan, and let me know if you'd like to hear from him again. I sure do. And thanks for listening to this week's podcast. And you will see me next week talking to somebody else about something else. So yeah, hope you enjoyed hearing about what he had to say about EMT, and yeah, just have a good day. All right, bye.